thinking about buying a property in Alberta, you might have seen listings that are for sale by the Court at King's Bench. And these are not your typical sales. These unique deals can mean huge savings, but they might come at a serious risk because it could cost you big if you're not prepared. You're wondering if it's the right move? Well, stay with me because I'm going to dive into the secrets and pitfalls of a Court at King's Bench sale and what you need to know before jumping in. Welcome to this week's What the Frig Friday. My name is Tara Frig. I'm the team lead of Masterful Moves Realty Group, and today we are answering the question, what does a Court at King's Bench listing mean? So I'm going to come at this question in two ways. One, we're going to go over kind of a highlight of what it is, and then two, we're going to kind of go over contractually what it changes in a contract. So first and foremost, a Court at King's Bench listing is a listing that is brought on by the courts. So there has been debts against the property, and the realtor is acting on behalf of the lawyers that are trying to get the debts of that property. So the listing realtor then is going to be speaking to a lawyer who is trying to get debts, the debts, the company's money back. And then it's going to go towards a judge. When it gets towards a judge, there's going to be what is called a docket day. So I'm not too sure if any of you have ever been towards a court, but judges have so many things they have to go through in a day, and you get a docket. Which is going to say that, the offer is going to be hitting the court system at such a time. And again, depending on where you are in Alberta, that could take, a short amount of time to a long, if you're in the higher municipalities and if you are in a smaller municipality, and how busy those judges are. So it's getting a docket day with the courts. Now, when it gets to the court system, like when it gets towards the court, there can be no conditions, because what the judge is going to do is he's going to look at all the offers presented for this property, and he's going to go highest and best. This one, he's going to put the possession date on it, and then that property is then going to be sold. So it is very different because you can do conditions, but it's going to be at the cost of yourself before you know your offer is going to be accepted. So again, a Court at King's Bench listing is a listing that needs to be unconditional before the court, because as soon as it gets in front of the judge is going to look, property XYZ, who has highest and best, it's this one, stamp, possession date, take your deposit, and away they go. So what does that mean for you as a buyer? Well, it really changes the scope because it has to be unconditional before the courts. So if you are looking to get financing, if you are looking to get an inspection or condo doc reviews, all of that needs to be done prior to your docket, before your docket day. So I'm now going to go a little bit over about the contract and how the contract changes. So if you are looking to put an offer on a Court at King's Bench listing, they make no warranties or representations on anything in that property. So if you're talking about your fridge, your stove, your washer, your dryer, they're not going to make any warranties that any of that works, because they're not going to be held liable. You're buying it as is, where is. They will look at price. Potentially you could get a discount on it if there's no other offers. For sure you could do that, but they have a bottom because they have debts to go against. A little side note on that is that if there is not enough to cover realtors' fees and they have to claim the debts, they will post them on Kijiji. The last Court at King's Bench I was at, they actually posted, said there's not enough equity to go on the MLS, so we're going to post on Kijiji, because they still have to find a way to get their debts back. So that is price. Now, possession. With a Court at King's Bench, they'll choose the possession. So if it is a vacant listing, there could be potential to have it close quicker. But if there is someone living in that home, the court is going to give them time to sort that out. Again, with the holidays on, depending on when you are putting or when you're getting possession, if there's a holiday coming up, the judge might be more lenient and say, hey, we're going to give them until the end of the holidays to move out. So that is some things to be mindful of as well. And also, it's supposed to be a vacant possession on a normal contract. You might not get a vacant possession. If there is someone living in it, they potentially could trash the place before they move out because they're pissed off. So there's no repercussions. It's as is where is. You could end up with a hoarder house when you do your walkthrough, which means, you know, who's been seeing that? Maybe you, if it is a hoarder house and it's empty, maybe you got mice by the time you're in there, by the time you get your possession. So things to be mindful for is that it might not be vacant and you don't have control of your possession date. They're going to make no warranties and representations, so they're not going to provide you with a real property report or a surveys report or any of that due diligence. That's going to be up to the buyer to confirm all of that data and all of that information. One thing to note though is deposits have to be in a money order or certified funds when you give your offer. So say you put an offer in on a property and it's accepted by the lawyer because it's going to cover the debts. Now, you have to have your certified funds then, because if it gets to the date of the docket date and there is more than like 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 40 offers, the judge is just going to pick which one, highest and best, and then he's going to take that deposit check right away. And that's going to be, you know, the money with the offer. So if you have to put that $5,000 or whatever your deposit's going to be in a certified funds with your offer. So that also changes because depending on when docket day is and when you put your offer in, there might be an opportunity cost for what that is with your money, and just be mindful of that because it has to go with the offer, and we don't know when docket day is potentially when you put your offer in. So same thing, your deposit gets stated to the listing realtor. Sometimes it goes to the lawyers, but usually if there's a listing realtor, it goes to their brokerage. And then the biggest thing is that there has to be no conditions. Again, so see this moment in front of the judge, right? It has to be unconditional because the judge is literally going to go, stamp, it's this offer, and away we go, right? So it needs to be unconditional for the judge to have that authority. There cannot be any conditions. So if you are needing financing, you need to know that your money is ready to be deployed, that your money, you are pre-approved to the point where your money can just go. And you have to show proof of that to the lawyer if it's not a cash sale. So being in communication with that listing realtor is really important, because if by chance you can't close, you are in contempt of court. Because now you've told the judge one thing and you're not. You can't. So it's actually could be contempt of court. I've seen that on a few larger scale commercial properties, because most larger scale commercial ones, you do need to still have that mortgage. So what does that mean for you? Right? We need to be mindful of making sure that we have that clear communication in regards to the inspection or financing. And actually, again, if we're talking about commercials, I've even seen some do appraisals before they put the offer in. They did inspection, all of that type of thing, and an appraisal, so that they know the value of that commercial property before they put that offer in. So, you know, all of these things, it's very cost heavy on the front, just to confirm that you know what you're getting into with these properties. And another thing too, like if you do have someone living in there and there is tenants, just be mindful that you're following up with the rent rules. Are rents being paid? What do those leases look like? Because it might be harder to get all of that data with there's no warranties and representations. So making sure that you fully understand what there's no warranties and representations on, and the risk that could be involved, and making sure that you understand the costs as well prior to. So I had an example. I had one where it was a condo. My client paid for all the condo documents, did the whole thing, even did an inspection on the property, the property manager, right, because they still have to have someone, you know, managing and walking through the property for their own insurance purposes, shut the water off. So sometime between the inspection and when the water was put on, there was a leak because the shutoff valve. And then she was liable for that cost because there's no warranties or representations. There's no one really to go back to because she signed that no warranties or representations, as is where it is. So again, just be mindful what that looks like, if it is vacant, if it's tenanted, if there's a homeowner in it, you know, what the state of that could be when you take possession. And when the lawyer accepts, say you have the first offer, the lawyer accepts the offer, and that gets the docket day. Up until docket day, they can accept as many offers as they would like. So the example that I had for my last one that we went to with the client, there was 7 offers. And then he needed to have all the offers in by the end of business day, the day before docket day. Because then that way they could get submitted to the courts for the next morning. Well, there was 2 offers that were submitted after that time that actually were of higher value than the ones that were submitted beforehand. So that realtor, the listing realtor, went to the court on the docket date and said, I'm here for this, but I have 2 more offers. And those offers were higher than what they were going to accept originally. So the judge said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to move this docket and we're going to move it over another 2 weeks so that these offers can then get submitted to the court. And that's why there's a deadline, because all the offers have to be submitted to the court so that the court can then have record of what those offers are and pick highest and best, highest and best. So yes, you can get a really good deal, but it might not be by the time all of those offers get, depending if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, how many offers they get. We just need to be mindful of what that looks like for you if you're looking to purchase a Court of King's Bench listing. So again, it is very different than other foreclosures as well, because a bank foreclosure, they might accept conditions, right? Your bank foreclosures might accept a condition, but a Court of King's Bench is unconditional before the judge with a money order put to the property, like put with the offer, so that the judge can just stamp, pick a date, take it, and move on with whatever offer he picks. So there's a lot more variables. You could really get a good deal though. There's some more risks involved as the buyer. No warranties and representations. Doesn't mean that you can't do all of the things. You just have to be mindful that that's all cost heavy. So you don't even know that your offer is the one that's going to be accepted. With a conventional offer, you put the offer in. I know my offer has been accepted, so I can spend the money on the inspection and the financing, you know, appraisals, all of that, whatever, after I know my offer is accepted. Here you have to spend all of the money first just to find out if your offer is accepted. But once your offer is accepted, you're good to go. It's yours. The judge says it's yours, stamps it, picks the dates, and moves on. So definitely very, very different in the Court of King's Bench than other foreclosures or with other with our original offer to purchase. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you found today's insights helpful. If you are interested in learning more, or if you are ready to take the next steps in your real estate journey, we at Masterful Moves Realty Group would love to connect with you, be it 4 days, 4 months, or 4 years. It's never too early to connect. Just visit our website at masterfulmovesrealtygroup.com. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might find useful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be sharing more valuable content and answering your questions in upcoming videos. If you have any ideas of future topics or other suggestions or comments on the video, just drop them below. And if you have ever purchased a Court of King's Bench listings, I'd love to hear in your comments below. Let's build that community. And let's have some conversation. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.